What's up, everyone? This is my Genshin review on Breath of the Weeaboo. It's perfect. You can click off now. Go try it for yourself. But no, for real, this game, we don't deserve it. Like, we do, but coming from a game like Destiny where they practically make you pay to get the cool content or use specific guns or armor, it's a breath of fresh air, and that's wild. See what I did there? But this game is completely free to play. To start and finish, they make sure to show you that by giving you free stuff every day just for logging in, that's where it's going to start. So I'm not going to spoil the story, but it's really good and it's completely free, no DLC or expansions to progress the story. So sit back and enjoy it without even having to keep your credit card beside you. Alright, but there is like a little tidbit about the story that I need to get off with it. But so at first it's going to be like you just keep going through the story, but eventually you're going to run into a specific requirement, which is an adventure rank, or AR for short, to progress the story. And it's completely different from your character's level and the world rank, which I'll get to in a second. The adventure rank only goes up by doing story missions, side quests, or dungeons, or finding chests in the world. So you're gonna have to be a little grindy to, get to the actual story and to get it even further. Another thing about AR is that there is co-op in this game, but the downside is that you can't party up with your friends until adventure rank 16. And it's going to be a little limited. Like, you can't do story missions together, and you can't do some side quests together, and you can't talk to NPCs or vendors in co-op mode, or grab chests from someone else's world. So I bet you're wondering, like, what can you actually even do? And there's two things to do right now of me currently making this video, and that's doing dungeons or world bosses. The next thing I want to talk about is the character design. I've been playing this game since launch on PS4. From the characters I've seen and gotten, they're all pretty unique with both their, overall outfits and other character designs, all the way to their personalities. And while there's only 5 types of weapons, there's 23 characters so far. They still feel completely different characters, even though there's like a very limited type of weapons out there. And those weapon types are sword, obviously, claymore, pole arm, I call it a staff, bow and arrow, and a catalyst. And they all have their own strengths in a way. Like, an example is like if the enemy is flying, it's going to be harder to hit with a claymore or sword, obviously, but you won't have these problems with a bow. And that leads me to my next thing: team coordination. And so what I mean by that is, like, you want to play with a certain type of characters on your team. Like, you want at least one far range character on your team, because there's a lot of flying enemies from what I've seen in my playthrough, and to be honest, it just comes in handy with like some of the puzzles and stuff they have going on. So just make sure you have a far range character. I'm not going to say who, but if you know who I'm talking about, you know who I'm talking about. Alright, and you can't talk about team coordination unless you're talking about the 7 element types. There's Pyro, Hydro, Anemo, Electro, Dendro, Cryo, and Geo, that every character are going to be assigned to, called visions. And they are all good because this mechanic in the game, that every element reacts to like some type of enemy. Trust me, you're not missing out if you're hitting something, unless it's in Geo, obviously. And the world itself, if you ever play Spellbreak, you'll know what I mean, and I won't spoil, how that works in the world, but it's going to be part of the fun. Alongside with squads, the thing I mentioned earlier, make sure you look at your squad elemental synergy with their attacks and with their party setup. There's all kind of cool matchups for elemental types just for having a character with a specific vision on your team. There's also skill trees and talents and passives that come with every character that can be upgraded with materials. So don't be clumsy like I was and just think it levels up with your character, because they don't. You'll also notice you will be given artifacts. These are mods in Destiny or Warframe if you played those, but are more flexible for all characters in their own way. Make sure you pay attention to the same name of them, because there's bonus stats for you matching the names of the actual artifacts. Now let's talk about the world of this game. The world is way bigger than I originally expected, and the loot, oh my god, the loot in this game is enough to just make you check out every nook and cranny of this place. Because not only are there chests, the things that give you majority of your loot, in my playthrough anyway, the amount of stuff in them trinkets are kind of absurd. Grab them all. Like, if you don't, you're kind of hurting yourself in the long run by not getting them, trust me. And along with the chest, there's little puzzles to solve, like stand here, kill that, or ones that require certain visions. Not going to spoil what that is, but guess what? Gives you more loot. And with that out of the way, let's kind of get into the iffy things I've noticed in this game. Remember how I said there are 23 characters? Well, through your regular playthrough, you'll get like a max of 5, I think, for free. The rest are hidden in these banners that you can use currency to get in. Like I said, this game is completely free. So currently can be earned in-game, and you can get a chance of getting some cool characters and weapons with this in-game currency. So like either way, you can call it a gacha, but you know, the gacha well, like me, spent an absurd amount in this game. We're not going to talk about the number, but I did it for a chance to get a specific character that you want in which a game that makes you feel like money is like a thing that you don't need. This game makes me feel that way, and I don't even know why I'm telling you this. Lastly, the dungeons and bosses. There's a bunch of hidden bosses for you to find in this huge world, but some are like on timers and require a currency called resin. You get resin automatically over time, or you can refill them with various items in the game. The problem is the resin versus the AR reward, and the amount of resin you get overall isn't really that great. It's kind of expensive to fight bosses, because in order for you to get the reward, even after you kill it, you gotta spend that resin, you know what I'm saying, to get your reward. So in that sense, it just kind of ruined that for me. And the loot isn't really that great for some of these bosses either. Like, yeah, they help you like level up some of the characters, but come on, if I'm gonna spend my resin, man, you gotta give me something. And you can either like get it in game, or you can open your wallet to get more resin, but you can only refill it so many times. So even if you do go into your pocket to like get this extra stuff, it's not really worth it, because you can only purchase so much a day. You might as well just wait for the next day. Okay, now let's talk about dungeons, aka domains, which are like mini dungeons, and some are co-op and some aren't. You're gonna have to do some solo. The rewards are nice and aren't as stingy as some of these bosses, and they cost less resin. Crazy, but I wish they had added some extra stuff in them to do. Like, they're kind of repetitive, and they're like walk in, kill this wave, grab loot. There's no like puzzles or anything for your teams to solve. There's no like actual need for, you know, co-op. You're just like in there killing shit. I could have did that myself, but there's like some type of like little debuffs you can get from like doing certain ones, and there's like elemental requirements that they recommend for you to do. But other than that, there's nothing really else that you haven't already been doing in there. So that's really it. Overall, with that being said, that's my review, and I'd have to give this game an 8 out of 10. You should definitely try this game if you haven't. And if you like my review, throw me a like and subscribe, and share this with someone you're thinking about getting into this game with, or someone that just needs to know more about this game that they didn't know that you found in this video. And if I missed anything, let me know down in the comments below. Thank you for watching Gamer in Glasses.
I'll run, I'll hide. Darkness always clouds my mind. When I look behind, it's moving closer every time.